So I'm going to get comfortable in my chair, and my feet are going to be just on the floor if I can reach, and legs not crossed. And just get into a comfortable position and we'll start. Basically, the breathing exercise today is all about exchanging any difficult feelings that you might have for something more peaceful. So we're just going to sit for a moment, and it's all about the breath. We are going to just be breathing normally throughout the exercise, but to start with, if you can take a few deep breaths and close your eyes if it's comfortable for you to do. So I'm just going to breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. So this process today is basically just a simply breathing in and breathing back out. So as we work through the exercise, I want you just to breathe normally. But to start, we're going to take a deep breath, and it's a breath of energy that we're going to take in, and then we're just going to release that energy back out. So we're going to breathe in. And out. So now we're going to breathe in stillness and release turbulence. Breathe in lightness and release heaviness. Breathe in soothing and release pain. Breathe in surrender and release resistance. Breathe in acceptance and release judgment. Breathe in forgiveness and release grievance. Breathe in tolerance and release anger. Breathe in expansion and release constriction. Breathe in clarity and release confusion. Breathe in peace and release conflict. Breathe in wholeness and release separation. Breathe in compassion and release sadness. Breathe in joy and release suffering. Breathe in ease and release struggle. Breathe in flow and release effort. Breathe in love and let go of fear. Now breathe in love and release love back out. Breathe love in and release love back out. Breathe in love and release love out. And just watch and just witness as love flows in and out of you with each breath you take. Breathing love in and releasing love back out. And we're just going to stay with that love in our breath. Breathing in love and releasing love back out. So just breathing normally, breathing in love, and just letting that love flow back out. Just breathing normally, breathing the love in and releasing the love back out. And we're just going to stay with that love. And when you're ready, take a long, slow, deep breath in. And as you release it, open your eyes. And I want you to stay with the love and just feel that lightness around you. And we'll just stay with that as we carry on now with our creative meditation and our little bit of art. And if you're feeling a little bit spacey, just give a little bit of a wriggle just before we get started. Shake it out. Wriggle right the way down from the top of your head down to the bottom of your feet. You can do a little toe tap if you like. Put your hands above your head, a little shake, just to get us grounded. And then we're going to get our tile and we'll begin. We're going to start with 4 little dots, 1 in each corner. And I'm going to do a very, very light border today because when we do Holy Hollibaugh, there's gaps and spaces. So you might get your rubber out later and that's absolutely fine. But I'm going to just make it really, really fine. So I'm going to join up my dots, but I'm going to do it a little bit heavier so that you can see. But if you just do yours very, very light, because it's just really something that we can anchor the ends of our Hollibaugh onto. That's really the only reason why I'm doing a little string today, or our border. Okay, so I've got that done. And now I'm going to get my pen and I'll go straight in with my pen. So I'm going to do some lines and they're not going to be straight. Okay, so with this Holy Hollibaugh, the lines are not straight. Okay, they can be straight, but mostly they're not. So I'm going to start with a little hook, really. Oops, maybe a little hook. And then I'm going to just go over to the other side and then hook that back in. Okay, so just, it's very rounded, really. And I'm going to just move the tile just so it's comfortable for me. And I'm going to get the other end, so the other side of this little road that we're building. So I've got a little line to start me off. Maybe a little bit closer, actually. So a little line to start me off. And then I'm going to come down and do an aura, but it's going to be quite a wide aura. And I might actually just come down to the bottom actually there and hook in. Okay. So that's kind of my first little road done. And I'm going to come off this now because I'm going to be just kind of guided by the space that I have. So I'm going to come from here and just wiggle away across and then just hook around. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I'm going to start this time and then come in and meet that first road. And then I'm going to imagine the roads carrying on underneath, and where is it going to go? So just coming along and then picking that up and joining into the side. And again, I'm going to do the same with this one. And it is a bit of a wiggly road. It's not a perfectly straight road. So I'm going to have a little bit of a wiggle on, and that is perfect. And now I'm going to do a smaller road, and I'm going to go right across over the top. Okay, so you might want to do yours going this way. Just decide on the space that you have where it's going to be best for you to put your little route, okay, because this is your drawing. So I think I'm going to start about here on the side and do a little hook, and then I'm going to come up, bump into that one, and then go across, and it's going to pop out over here somewhere. Okay, and then again, I'm going to do another little hook, come in, bit of a wiggle, come along and think, oh, where's that going to come out? Okay, probably about there. Okay. So that's kind of what I've ended up with. So now I can just go around and join up my lines. So I'm going to just come around, and I'm making them rounded. I'm not, the reason why they're little hooks is so that you do like a rounded curve rather than a straight line. And there, like, that can just actually just join up nicely there. And this one's going to go around and join up nicely there. And then this one will join up to that one. And this one will join up to that one. Okay. So that's kind of my starting point. And now I'm going to do some hearts along my little roads. And you can put your hearts wherever you want your hearts, but just remember that they're only going to be on these long strips. Okay, we don't want anything in the kind of blocks that we've created. So I'm going to do a little heart just here. Like that. I'm going to do one here that's actually going to go like that. And then I might do one here. And I might actually have one that's maybe just sort of coming out underneath here. Just the inkling that there's another one that's hiding under there. And then I might just have a little one there. A little one there. Okay, but you can do as many as you like, or as little. And if you wanted to choose a different shape, that's absolutely fine as well. Now, because I've done one here and that road is going the way through, I'm just going to carry that road through that heart. So if you have any hearts that are kind of looking through underneath to your roads, make sure that you carry through that route. So for example, here, this road's probably going to just skim over the top of that one. Okay, so just add that little bit of road through the heart, just so that we know that we're looking through there down to the next level. Okay, so I'm just going to check that it's not going to come through. No, that one's just missed. That's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna do a grid pattern in my space. So I'm gonna start by just doing some lines, and because I think, as I said, I want a more open pattern. So I'm gonna, and they don't have to be straight lines, so it's up to you. But I'm gonna start just getting the grid going through. And if the grid would go through the middle of the heart, then obviously pop the grid through, because obviously I'm looking through and I would be able to see that through the heart. So I've drawn that in. So I'm going to just go here. And again, it's going to go through the center of that one. And then on through. And then there's going to be a grid under there somewhere. So I'll just come along, kind of probably skims that one. So then I'll go there. And then imagining where that's going to come out. I might even bump in there a little bit. And then, oops, come out there. And then one more. Okay, so that's a grid going that way. And then I'm just going to aura that line. So I'm going to do a second line. Actually, I think it should go there. And then I'm going to there, that one, or that one. And then this one. So kind of thinking that that's probably more looking through at the road rather than at that one. Okay, so I think that's kind of, oh, I missed one there, haven't I? So that's kind of the pattern. And I would probably, because of the spacing, I'd probably have a little bit shown through just here. Okay, so, and now I'm going to do some crosses, so some X's. So I'm going to just start from the edge, because that's going to be the easiest thing. We're going to basically be creating diamonds. So just go along and make some crosses. And just remember that when you bump into your road, you want to stop. And if maybe there's going to be part of a cross going up there like that. So that'll carry on. And then I'll imagine that I've got a cross, and then I'll have one kind of coming out. gonna okay, and it just carries on. And then I'm going to just put some little circles in the bottom triangle. So just come in and pop some little circles, and you can make them really big, or you can make them really small. It's entirely up to you. And if you want to mix and match, that's absolutely fine as well. But we're just going to pop some little circles inside our like a little hourglass, isn't it? That's what it is. Like a little hourglass. Just pop your circles inside. And really just focusing on that mark that you're making on the paper right now. Breathing normally. Okay. And then I'm just going to continue the pattern underneath. So starting with an X. And then just working my way along. And then on this one, you're actually going to see it popping through. So I'm going to imagine where that, probably going to be about there. And then I'll be doing an X. And I'll have an X coming down. Right, yeah. And then going off. So you'll see the pattern inside your little heart. And then just carry that through there. Just keep that going all the way to the end. Okay. And then back to doing our little circles. And you might want to do this one with bigger circles and then just alternate. So maybe I'll just put 3 circles in this one. And then just alternate it. You don't have to. If you want to put small circles in, that's absolutely fine. If you want to put big ones in, that's absolutely fine too. It's your little piece of work, so whatever you feel comfortable putting in that space. And then remember that when you come into the heart, you need to just pop some into there as well. I've digressed to doing small ones. Even though I started doing big ones, I've gone back to doing small. This should be a next kind of maybe, yeah, line. And then carry on just on the next line. And you will just see a little bit of the top of the X, and the next one going down, and then it would have been the top there. It would have been like that one. Sorry, should have been more of a V shape, but I can fill in with tipple anyway. When I fill in, it will make sense. So yeah, you'll just see the top of that. So I'll have an X. So X, X, and just a little bit of a X coming through there. And then carrying that on. And then you'll just see a little bit of that going through that. And then coming down here as well, you'll get a little bit. So X, X, X. So there's going to be a little bit of a line there. And then a little bit of a line going back up. Okay, and then we'll fill in with our little circles. And there's going to be some in here as well. Filling in. It should be there, shouldn't it, actually? It'll be underneath where you see the one above. Your tipple will be directly underneath that. So going along, filling in. Because you've got a white diamond and then the diamond that's full of the circles. So it's like a little hourglass. So on this one, so probably would have a through there, wouldn't I? Because I can see that I would have, because there's a little triangle of tipple at the top. I know that there would be a triangle of tipple underneath this opposite, because they're opposite each other. So if there's tipple there, I need to have tipple at the bottom here as well. And then in this one, we're going to have tipple in that one and tipple in that one. Okay. And I'm going to just start from this edge here. I'll just do across. Oops, I should have started it a little bit further in. Not to worry. But if you line it up with your one above, which is really what I should have done, and I'm just going to pop, because you'll see a little bit of it here, which will be tipple. I'll just pop a little V there. And then you're going to see it here as well, but I'm just going to come in and do my crosses going the other way, just so I can get that started. Because I can only see the top part of it. So I can match my little ones above. So I know if there's a triangle there, there'll be a triangle underneath, because it kind of flows. So I've slightly I've done it slightly different on the other side, but it is what it is, as we always say. So I'm just going to add in my tipple into this one. Like that. And there'll be tipple in that one. And that one will come down like that. There's going to be a little bit of tipple in there. And there's also, because I've got a little space here where this part of the heart is as well, I'm going to obviously have some lines in this space. So I would have a cross coming down like that, and then going back up. So there's probably, let me just have a look, because that's the tipple, and there's tipple there. So there'd probably be a little bit of tipple just in the bottom bit there. And then I'm going to have some tipple in these little triangles. And then that one. And that one. And then I've got, I'm just going to match up from the one above, because I have, I'm slightly out, but I'm going to just go with the flow and pop my crosses in. Like that. And then, because that'll match up with that one. And then on this side, I'll work towards getting it to match up with the above. So it's going to be a little zigzag, basically, of triangles. And I'm just following what's above. So there'll be tipple in that one, and in that one, and that one. Okay. And then on this bottom one, actually I've got quite a large grid going on there. So I'm going to bring an X going down to there. And then it'll be that, be there. And then it's going to be going up. And then down like that to match that one. And then because I'm looking through my heart, I'll have to keep it going. So, and I'm going to really just take direction from above up here. So there'll be a triangle going that way. And then one going that way. Just to kind of try and match it from what's going on up above. I know it's tricky whenever you're doing things behind. I'm just going to do zigzags because that's like the end of the X and the start of a new one. So there'll be one there. And then basically on this side, I'll just have one going down like that and like that. I can use the grid above, you see, to match up. Okay, that's like that. So then I can pop some little circles in that one. And then I'll come along and I'll have some little circles in this one. And that one. And that one. And that one. Okay. So, oh yeah, I need it in here, don't I? So I'm going to have, so there'll be a grid line, probably just in that corner. And then I will take it that got my X. So I'm going to do a little cross in here. I'll just do some tipple. And that will go down, and that will go down. Okay. And then last one. Let's get very small on my triangle, sorry. So we're going to have tipple in that one. Okay. So I'm going to do some auras of my little roots. So just to kind of break it up, but I'm going to have an aura going along. So I'll fill in there, be able to see it there, and then coming along. It's going to go along and up. And then I'm kind of just going to come around. Okay, just follow that round. And then aura this one as well. So just creating a second line on that road. And then coming around, coming down. And I'm just going to kind of let it disappear into the side because I don't want to carry it on onto the other side there. So now I'm going to come along from here. Just put that. And imagine that going along. Don't think I would cut through there, it's too high, I think. And then bring that round. And have that coming in. Yeah. I'm just trying that on there. I thought that was going to be a little bit tight actually, so now I'm just going to come around and let that corner work there, and then this one just bring it round. Up. Okay, so I'm not sure about my actual, I said I'd get a rubber, didn't I? I know we say that we don't use a rubber, but for this, I am going to just take out the lines because they were just a guide for you to hook your road onto. So I'm going to come in and just take out that border that I put in to start, because it was just a little guideline for us so that we could hook our road on. Okay, so I'm just going to get my pencil actually and do some shading now, I think. So there's quite a bit to shade with this, and to really make the roads kind of pop, there's quite a lot of shading that we're going to do. So to start with, I'm going to find each of the junctions, and I'm going to put a reasonable amount of out of the way, of pencil down there, just using the side of my pencil and just popping some lead down, because these are kind of like tunnels, and I want it to be really obvious that the road disappears underneath. So I'm just going along, and any junctions, just lay down some pencil, and then I'm going to really pull that out quite a distance onto the towel. So again, really, and I'm going to be going in and doing this probably a couple of times, because I really want to focus on the fact that we've got a little road gone on here. So again, focus on blending and pulling out, and you can do this with an earbud, like a Q-tip, or your finger if you haven't got these are little paper stumps. So, and then I'm going to just go in again a little bit more there, just pull that out, and then here, because it's further down. And then I'm going to basically go in the full width of the road, but I'm going to do one side. So for here, I'm going to come in here and just start and lay down pencil the whole way along that track. Okay, so just really do a reasonable amount, and then I'm going to come along and just blend that out now. Okay, so it's like that, and that's really because I want this, the roads to be the thing that really pop out at you whenever you're looking at my piece of art. That's what I want. I want them to be the things that really, really stand out. So, and then I'm going to go in on this one, and I'll do the same. I'll just come along and lay some pencil down, and then just work that. And it's going to be a bit darker down here because obviously it's further away. So I'm going to, you know, try and give that real depth now, because as I say, this is down in the depths of Spaghetti Junction. So just, that's it. And then I'm going to come in again, just don't be afraid. I mean, I know I say start with less and add more, but today this, it really needs the depth to make it pop. So I'm just coming in again, layering it down and filling it out. Okay, and you'll already start to see now that these two particularly are popping more off the page than the others at the minute. So that's that one. And then on the side of this one here, I'm going to just add some and again, this is really dark because it's underneath. Okay. Yeah, it's working. So a bit more. Okay, yeah, like that. And then again, so all we're doing is creating a 3D effect with something that is 2D, just by adding this darker shading. It's really just to make things pop a little bit more off the page for you. So, and we're going to have to do the same kind of idea with our hearts, because we're looking through a heart, so through a road basically down. So we'll want to kind of come along the outside of your heart and leave the middle white, but just come along the outside. And we're going to really define those in a minute, but you want to just come around the outside just so that you get the illusion that you are looking into a hole. So we're looking down in. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shading, but with those we can actually do more with adding a bit more pen as well. And the most important thing is to leave some of it white, just so that you get that contrast. So, but the real way I think to get more depth with these hearts is to come back in with your pen and just thicken up around the edge. So at the top, kind of just create like a thicker wall, so that you really do look like you're looking down in. So just creating a little bit of thickness just at the top there, and then that kind of will pull you in, and you can bring that down. Okay, but I've just kind of done it. So I've gone around the top and then kind of just thinned it as I've come down this side. I've just thinned it out. So it's to make it look like a hole that you're looking into. So just by thickening up one side, kind of will give that illusion. And I'm going to just redefine the line. And that one's just fine as it is, but I'm redefining it so that again, you're pulled into that. Okay, so just thickening up just part of it to give that illusion that you're looking down into a thick, because it's like through the road. Okay. And just go and do that on each of your little hearts, so that you're given a bit of definition to create that illusion of depth and seeing through the road. Okay. And then same again, just thickening it up. And because I've really gone over this road with the pencil as well, I'm going to come along and just redefine that, because again, by giving this a bit of a thicker edge as well, is really going to make this road pop off the page. So just come back in and, you know, go a little bit further than what you drew the road in originally, and just thicken that ever so slightly. You're just adding a little extra line of ink, but that will make such a difference when you look at that now, how it's really jumping, and you feel like you could just put your fingers underneath there. Okay, and I'm going to just do the same on this one down here. I'm just thickening it up to give that illusion of depth. You're going into the murky shadows in there, you see. Just maybe here, just a little bit. Just on those as they come out into the light, and then just thin them out. Oops, Daisy. I need to actually, because that looks more like, I'm going to just shade that. Oops, I'll grab some pen there. I'm just going to shade that in because it looks more like a gem rather than, because it would be darker in there. So I'm just going to add more. It was looking more like it was popping off the page rather than popping into the page. So I'm going to just shade it so it's completely, that's better. Because it's all, I've shaded all this here and here, so underneath there would be even darker because it's in a tunnel. So if you're looking through into it, it would be dark. So I don't know why I had that little bit of light there, because it's going to be pretty dark in there. Okay. So I'm just now just going to very gently add a tiny bit of shading, nowhere near as heavy, just around the other side. So just a light, very light line, but just to give that definition. So not anywhere near as dark as on that side. Okay, but just a light pencil, just to say, okay, yeah, we know that it's there and it's a road, but I wanted to really define on the opposite side. So with your pattern as well, I'm going to just really shade around and leave the middle kind of popping out, so it's kind of given that depth. So I'm going to just come around these areas, like the little bubbles that we've got, and just shade around them and leave the middle white, so that it kind of looks like you're, you know, obviously gaping down at some nice sort of fancy diamonds on the floor. So just, I keep saying just an illusion. I'm thinking of that 1980s song. Sorry, I'll probably give you an earworm now for the rest of the afternoon with Just an Illusion. I just need to hear those little oohs and little ahs. Right, so I'm just, sorry. Come along and shade in there. But as I say, leave some white so that it's popping, because you know that you're falling down in there, but you want to be able to see that light as well, just so that it really draws your eye. So I'm kind of pulled in now. And I mean, you can see there's a lot of shading that you can do on this style of pattern. There's actually nearly just as much shading as there is with the actual original tangle. It's quite a lot, but it really will make it worthwhile. So, and then I'm going to do that one. And as I say, just try and keep some white, just so you're pulled towards it when you're looking at the overall. You still got that little bit of brightness. Kind of little intrigue. I don't know what's in there. Okay, so I'm just going to actually, I'm not finished, but I'm just going to hold it away for a second from me, just at arm's length, to have a look at it so that I can kind of see where I might need to add a little bit more. So I'm going to just pop a little bit more into where my junctions are, because they kind of got lost a little bit. So I just kind of felt that it needed a little bit more. And just blend that out, pull it out. Yeah, it's looking better, yeah. Just kind of seemed a little bit light on the old junctions. Yeah, I think that's better. Just kind of turning my towel, looking at it in all directions to kind of just make sure that I'm happy with it. As I say, with this sort of style, the shading is really important. Yeah, I think I'm kind of happy with that now. Like how that's so kind of lost that part a little bit. I'm just gonna come in. Okay. Yeah, I think that there's enough there now to make it sort of pop off the page, so I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to find somewhere to put my initials. So let's just have a think about where I'm going to pop them. So find a little space that you're happy and just pop your initials in there. Just over in this little corner here, I'll just pop a little PV. And then I'm going to just turn over my tile and today's date, just checking. So I'm going to just pop my name, and it's day 10 of Feel the Love. And it is the 10th then of February 22, and we've done Hollibaugh and Dutch Hourglass. Okay, so let's have a look and see how you get on.